Next panel is Bonnie Wrestler, thank you, Chad Brown, John Lawson, Shira Feinberg, Lori Petty, David Briggs. They will be followed by Matthew Johnson, Alicia Gorgorosa, Becky Rodenson, Monica Asensio, Debbie Girgatos, Lindsay Ice. We will begin with Bonnie Wrestler.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Wrestler. I came from LaGrange, Texas. Senator Hager is my senator, and I would like to say thank you for all of you because I'm tired, and I know you've got to be tired because I could take a break and you couldn't. So I really appreciate for all the work you've done, and I know it's not an easy decision on any kind of way. It's not, to me, about political party lines. It's about God's rule, and that's where I'm coming from. I have a hard time understanding that in the state of Texas we have a law that if a drunk driver hits a woman that's pregnant 5 months and kills that child, that that person can be held accountable and has been tried and convicted and go to prison for the death of that child. And we call it an unborn child, and we mourn, and I don't think there's anybody in this room that wouldn't mourn for that child. And yet, when it's the mother's choice, it's not usually called an unborn child, it's called a fetus. And that's okay, what you want to call it, that's fine. It's still the same child to me. It's a child that didn't get to live. But just because I'm pro-life does not mean that I don't want women to have great health care, because I do. I'm a woman. And I love those women just like I love the women that choose to keep their children. Excuse me. I don't want anybody to hurt. And I don't want to pass judgment on anybody. It's their decision, and they're going to have to answer for it. I just want the best care. And we've heard horror stories, and we've heard sad stories today, and my heart is so heavy with that. I just want every woman to know that if she makes that choice to give up that child, that she will get the best care, and she may not lose her life. And let's not make any bones about it. The abortion industry is truly a money maker, and we're talking about these clinics that may close. If they're making that much money, they can go ahead and upgrade their equipment because they're making up plenty of money, and that's it. The bottom line is money. Thank you.
Chad Brown.
My name is Chad Brown. I live in Austin. I'm here against SB1. My senator is Watson. And although I have strong feelings about the issue in question, I am personally really sick of hearing what men have to say about what women do with their bodies. It's not my business, so I'm going to read the story of Virginia Pickle, who is unable to be here today. Her senator is Campbell. I'm writing to ask you to please vote against SB1. Here's my story. In 2010, at the age of 29, I was diagnosed with pulmonary embolism, blood clot in the lung. Although I recovered after a week in the hospital, I was informed by doctors that all hormonal birth control would contraindicate for the rest of my life. That meant I had to be taken off the pill, which I've used for 9 years, and I cannot choose other hormonal options such as NuvaRing, IUDs, depot shots, etc. Even progesterone-only methods have been discouraged for me. Basically, my only option without risking my health are condoms, diaphragms, sterilization for me or my husband or both, and abortion. The fact that I'm married but don't want kids, helping to raise 3 younger siblings and a stepdaughter is enough for me, means I don't want to be pregnant ever. My husband and I decided we do not want children. To further complicate matters, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2011. Although fibro manifests itself in many different ways for different people, mine causes daily excruciating pain in my back, which often migrates to my limbs. On my absolute worst days, I cannot grasp a toothbrush or bathe myself without assistance. Being pregnant while having fibro would be agony. Now, some may bring up health expectations for abortions and the like, but in 2013, not all doctors even recognize fibro as a valid medical condition. So even though I have an actual debilitating illness, I don't feel like the health exception is sufficient enough to cover people like me. Therefore, I believe abortion should be available as a valid legal medical procedure without restrictions and should be accessible to as many people as possible. Texans' actual lives depend on this vote. I beg you to consider the well-being of all your constituents and vote against this bill.
Thank you. John Lawson?
Yes, I'm John Lawson. I'm pastor of Children of God Ministry from Dallas, Texas. And over the years, I have developed a strong aversion to being lynched. This organization, Planned Parenthood, was founded by a woman who was a favorite speaker of the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan, over 150 years, was able to lynch 4,000 black people. Planned Parenthood lynched from the womb 4,000 babies every 4 days, more than the Klan was able to do in 150 years. Now, what I think we need to do is stop this racism, because Planned Parenthood is founded on the principle of eugenics, and they believe in Planned Parenthood that we were talking a minute ago about birth defects. They believe that if you're born black, that's a birth defect. And what we got to understand is, what I'm wondering is, since these people are operating where 80% of their facilities is in the black neighborhood, and we are just 10% of the population, but over 40% of the abortions is taking place among people of color, I'm wondering about our representatives seem to be on their side and not our side. We need representation to fight against this. So we got some serious things to do here, and I think Texas should be stand up against lynching, because that's exactly what's taking place. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shira
Yeah, you can
Feinberg?
write every other time. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, hi. Thank you, Senator Nelson and committee members. My name is Shira Feinberg, and I'm from Arlington, Texas. I'm a constituent of Wendy Davis, and I'm against this bill. Today I'm giving the testimony of my sister Eliza Feinberg, also from Arlington, but because she could not be present, I represent the both of us, and it's in her words. I didn't have an emergency abortion at a hospital because those doctors at 2 different hospitals did not recognize my ectopic pregnancy. After 2 days of excruciating pain, I visited the most amazing women's health nurse practitioner at the university where I am a nursing student. She referred me to a wonderful OBGYN who gave me the medication methotrexate to kill the embryo that was hurting me. Those women saved my life. I didn't need a hospital or surgical center. This was an outpatient procedure at my doctor's office, but I am privileged to live in a place where I'm a short car ride away from a variety of healthcare options. The women most affected by this bill will have even less access than they do now should this legislation pass. Thank you.
Thank you. Lori Pretty?
Thank you. I'm Lori Pretty. I'm from Westbury in Houston. I have come on behalf of my son, Isaac, who's a 3rd-generation surprise pregnancy. I'm 44 years old, and he is 17 months in 2 days. All liberty requires law to limit it, and that is your job. Because liberty without the limitation of law is no longer liberty. It is anarchy, and no one will be free. And you have a job today to determine the limitation of liberty. Women are in an unusual position because we give birth. I've had 3 sons, and I've heard a lot of people talk about their bodies and their rights to do with their bodies. I'm going to ask you, in all honesty, have I had 3 penises? Can a woman have, as a part of her body, 3 penises? This is irrational. It is a life. In a World War II documentary, I listened to a Japanese man talk about the atrocities they committed against the Chinese on the mainland. They took a baby and they threw him over the cliff. And he said, if I would have known that Chinese were human, I would not have done such things. And I wondered, what level of propaganda can a man be subjected to that he even said, I thought they were like insects? How could he look at a Chinese face and not see a human face? And I would ask you all to look at the face of a 12-week, 13-week, 14-week, and ask yourself, is that a human face? Sojourner Truth asks a question, am I not a woman? And I ask that you ask yourself, is this not a child?
Thank you. Is David Griggs here? David Griggs? David Griggs wished to be shown in opposition to the bill, but we will show that he was not here to testify. Thank you to this panel for being here.